Well, look at that. A lot has changed since last time I was here, right? Look at this. All the TJIs are installed. Look at this. See there? Here's that belly band I was telling you about on the end. See how they ran that along here, and then they just set these on top of the bottom plate and nailed it in. See now why these are so long? Because if these were only half as long as they were now, these right here are probably the longest ones. The whole place, these are probably, oh, I don't know, 28, 30 feet long. Had they have been only half this long, it would have taken twice as long to install these, and they would have had to have overlapped them and then put a block in between there and all that kind of good stuff. And see, they didn't want to do that. Now see how right in here they went the other direction, and so they put this belly band material on here because this other piece is a TJI. I don't know why. I'm not quite sure why they ran. Oh, okay. I was going to say I'm not sure why they ran this. It was almost like a waste of the TJI because it's setting down on top of the plate. Do you have any ideas why they did that? Well, when they run the plywood across here, it's going to give the plywood something firm and a good nailing aspect onto it here instead of nailing it onto there, see? Because when they install this plywood here is going to go from left to right, okay? This over here is going to go from there this way. Do you see what I mean? And that cracks me up too. Sometimes I watch HGTV. Sometimes I'll see somebody framing something this way, and then which way do you think they're supposed to run the plywood? It goes from left to right. You go across. You don't go full length, like 8 feet this way and span it. And you think, what's the difference? Well, then it's not as strong that way, and the plywood has a natural give going this way. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You want to run it from left to right across all of these. And these look like 16-inch centers, and so they got to lay it out so that when they install the plywood, they know that the plywood, wherever they start, from here over there, 8 foot is going to be on the center of one of these TJIs. That way they don't have to cut plywood twice in a big row. Now see, here's another one of those shot strips. They shouldn't be on the floor. They should be thrown away. They should be thrown away. We'll just throw that in there. Here they've got some blades here, and these are just all their scraps. And I'm going to talk to you real quick here. Remember before, if you were watching this, and I hope you did, along here they ran the wall up higher. You see how much higher this is over here than over here. Now why would they have done that? You see this? And so when they built this along here, they had to form up a little pony wall under there. You see that pony wall? We'll get over there. We'll get over there too. But see way over there, they had to do the same thing, because remember, over there was the concrete stem wall was higher. And I was like, I don't know why they did that. Well, have you thought about it? Have you figured it out yet? Well, this is where the front door is going to be, and they're probably going to pour concrete stairs or something here, and which means they're going to have to raise this dirt level up. When they raise this dirt level up, they want the dirt to come up on the concrete, not on wood. So if they were to have built this lower, when they poured the concrete in here, they would have had to pour it right on top of the wood. But then, you know, lots of people, they would put metal flashing on there. They could have put metal flashing all the way around there before they pour concrete up against it for when they do the stairs. But they decided not to. They did it this other way. And we're going to go, I'm going to walk you over there where that black tar paper is. Remember, they built that wall low over there. Now see this here? They ran these TJIs that way. They ran these this way. Why didn't they just take these and run that way? I'm not sure. They had to look at the plans and they decided, oh, we're going to run them this way. And so they put their belly band material here, boom, so that they nailed this onto there. And then they ran a second belly band. So when they run the plywood, I guess they're going to nail right into this with their plywood edge, like they could have done over there, but they ended up using an entire TJI instead of doubling up the belly band. Remember, they had one belly band, then they had a TJI sitting on top of the wood. They didn't really need to do that, I don't think. That's a little bit of waste of wood, I would think. Don't you? See how the belly band material goes? Boom, 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 like that. And you see here, when you were away, they dropped some dirt here. Look how high this is now. Look at all this dirt that they filled. Look, from here down. I saw them the other day. They had a little cat, you know, bobcat, and they were pushing all this dirt, and they came here, and that's because this dropped way off. Remember? Well, apparently they wanted this up a little bit flatter, and the only way to do that was to have raised these exterior walls over in here up higher with the concrete. You see there? Then they dropped it down. So code has it that exterior, when you grade this, you have to be at least 6 inches below any wood areas. Like right here, you have to be 6 inches down for your concrete. They couldn't have done that. They couldn't have raised this up had they had that belly band on there, right? Because this is just their fill. Now they'll probably end up throwing some more fill in here. This might be built up. They might have a concrete patio back here, or a deck, or something like that. Probably a concrete patio is my guess. They'll probably put crushed gravel on here, and then they'll probably form this out, put rebar in it, and all that kind of stuff. And that's why they wanted to raise this area up, and that's why they wanted to build this wall up higher. You remember? Remember I showed you? I hope you've been watching from before. See, remember that concrete wall went all the way up there, and they had to build that little pony wall there, and they built it strategically the exact height so that when they got all done, they ran their TJIs right on here, and boom, it's flush with this. See, it's sticking up right here. See how high this is from here? Well, that's because they're spanning that, and when their plywood comes on here, the plywood's gonna end up all the way over to here. Do you see what I mean? I thought that was kind of slick. The only thing they're gonna have to do when they put the plywood down, they're gonna have to poke it and drill holes for where this is, and I don't know. They're gonna have to notch it out for all these big washers. I would have put round washers on there instead of these big ones, but I guess they decided not to do that. Let's take a look here, see if all of these have been shot. Yes, they have. Good boys. I'll just put that in there. Okay, so when they install their plywood, the plywood's going to come all the way out to here. Okay, and usually you don't have this mud seal right here like that. But hey, you know, on most times it's like this. Then they build their plywood, or they put their plywood floor down. Then they'll build all their perimeter walls and all the walls on top of that. Doesn't that look good? Nice job they did there. Okay, and so what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I know. I'm trying to talk fast because I only have so many minutes left before my SIM card goes out. and see, remember these here, in some places these come up out of here on this, where the plywood floor is going to go right to here. So not only do they have to notch around this, dado out that on every single one of those, they've got to drill a hole and place their plywood right down through those bolts. And see, those bolts are smaller. See, these are probably 3/4 inch. Now look at this. See, they shouldn't have that on a job site like that. Here's their shots. That's a no-no. You know, you really don't want to do something like that and leave it out, because these are live shots. If some kid comes around here, or some accident, something happens, and you hit that with a hammer or do anything, it could explode. Okay, because that's a shot. It's a shot, and it's for a nail gun. Okay, so back to what I was gonna tell you now. What do you suppose is the next step? What do you suppose is the next step? Do you think they're getting ready to install the plywood floor? Huh? What would you do? I don't think they're going to install the plywood floor next, because you remember there's 2 air conditioning ducts, real big cans over there, and I know they're going to be running their duct work underneath the floor, and they're probably going to have floor register, so all the duct work has to go through here. Okay, what else do you suppose has to go through here before they put that plywood down? Yes, because, well, see, there's two ways of thinking. Let me finish my thought process here. The other thing that has to go down, all your sewer lines for your toilets, for your sinks, that all has to be run through here, and the sewer drain to the connection for the outside of the property is probably over there. My guess is the sewer line is going to be connected somewhere out in this area to go that way, is my guess. You know, I'm not sure exactly where it is, because as I was looking along there before, I found the electrical and the cat TV and the water. I didn't see sewer, but it could be over in that area. We'll just have to see. But wherever the sewer is, you got to tie all this stuff in. And then you've got your water, your hot and cold water lines. Wouldn't it be easier to run those now than to crawl around here later? Well, that's the thought. Now see, the crawl space you have now is a good 2.5, 3 feet, probably a good 3 feet. Okay, so the other thought is you install the plywood first. Then you build your walls, then you drill your holes where all your plumbing is going to go and all that, and then you crawl down underneath here, and the workers have to do everything underneath the floor. And then the inspector has to come, he's got to crawl around. So that's another way too. Now, what else has to go on the floor? You remember? I mentioned it before, insulation. Your flooring insulation has to be installed still. Okay, wouldn't it be a good idea to install that prior to installing the plywood floor? I would. And so they'll have to, I've seen it done a couple different ways. They'll put netting down here, staple it here, run it along this way, and have it come up, staple it. They could just keep going like this, like that, or they'll cut strips and go from here down, across, and up. Then they can lay their insulation in there and lay it in there without it falling down. Wouldn't it be better to do it now than before the plywood goes down on the floor? So there's some different options. And you know, if this house was built on a hill, so to speak, and if you had 3/4 of this, you could walk underneath here and stuff, and then crawl a little bit like this towards the last little bit. Wouldn't it make sense at that point, go ahead and put the floor down? You could put the floor down. Then you could do all your plumbing, all your air conditioning stuff, all that kind of stuff after the fact, and then you'd have to crawl around, put your insulation up from underneath too. See, it's a little bit more dicey that way. So my guess is the framers, the guys who built this, they wanted to finish today, is my guess, and they're probably not going to come back and put any plywood down. I don't see any plywood loaded up anywhere, and I doubt that's going to happen. We're going to get some subcontractors here probably in the next couple of days, an air conditioning guy and a plumber, probably, and they'll probably want to do all their stuff. And see, the air conditioning, lots of times, a lot of houses have, now see this dirt? See how it's up high, and then it's going to be lowered down because you can't go any higher than 6 inches. And so that's why they stepped this up from there all the way around to the other side of that. You see what I mean? And that's just how they decided to do it. I mean, they could have done it the other way. They could have done it the other way, and then you would install flashing, metal flashing, from here down to there. And I've done it that way. I've seen other guys do it that way before you backfill, before you put the dirt on, before you backfill and put crushed gravel there, before you pour concrete patio, let's say. You could do it that way. These guys decided to do it this way for some unknown reason. You know, the architect, designer, he decided to do that, probably, is my guess. So they've got a ton of dirt in here. You see, look at that. I mean, over there, that's probably 12 feet of dirt they got there. Okay, and they did really good. There's hardly any TGI material left. You know, they measured it up. They measured it up really good. They had to form it. They had to figure this all out. Now, see, they ran short. They've got some more belly band material here. They're probably not done. It's my guess. See this piece here? They don't have it nailed really, and they've got to finish from here that way. That way they can nail from the back side that way down there, and tie it in properly. And maybe they've got to do something. See, this here should be pushed down. I'm not sure what's happened. It almost looks like it's slightly bowed. It's up a little bit, about see there, 3/16 or so. You want to get those flush so that when you put your plywood there, the plywood doesn't want to bow up. It's going to be underneath the wall though, so that's good. So see, they've got some extra belly band material. And see how they had to do this first one, and they ran a whole TJI right down on top of the plate. They could have doubled up this belly band. And I don't know why they did that, because you saw way over there they ran 2 pieces of belly band material. They could have done that, but for some reason they decided not to do that, and they've got the additional cost of this TJI all the way down. Look at that. That seems like a waste to me, but you know, they decided that. Maybe they started right here and they started thinking about it later and thought, wait a minute, let's not do that. Let's put a double belly band material, and that's why they did that way down over there. That would be less costly in my judgment. Okay, and so there you go. That's it so far. See, remember, here's the air conditioning. Here's the 2 air conditioning ducts, and there's big ducts, big round ducting here. See down there? You have to watch my other videos before preceding this, and see here they ran. Oh, I see what they did here. Here they ran they cut small TJIs, and they put them in here for blocks to keep these from twisting, and that's probably a code. They're probably, see, you can see where they've got them stacked, and they're doing it right over the middle of your beam that's under there, and they probably have to do that by code. And the silly thing is, these things would never really go anywhere once you put your plywood on and nail your plywood down. These things are down, but maybe that's code that you have to put these blocks in. Okay, they're doing it right underneath, you know, where the beam is, and see, they just cut it from here to there, and then you've got a gap there on both sides. But that really doesn't matter. The only reason why they have that there is to keep this straight, and that's it. You know, could they have done it? Could they have done it some other way? I don't know. They could have maybe put some 2x8s in there, but if the 2x8 material is not the right size, then you got to mess around and dink around with that stuff. See here they've got some extra work where they've notched some stuff. They had to notch some stuff for where bolts are and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so they're gonna be here another day. They'll be here another day. We can see they still got to put, see, here's another beam here. They've got to put more blocks here. They've already snapped their line and stuff. But hey, so far so good. It's looking it's looking really good. They installed all these TJIs in 2 days, because yesterday I wasn't here. It started raining and lightning, thunder all afternoon, and today it's about 7 o'clock at night right now, but I had no choice because they were here before that, and I'm trying to keep a low profile, you know, and to keep out of their way and still show you what they're doing. Okay, I think my time is up. I'm looking at my SIM card. I got 2 minutes. It's flashing at me, and I don't think there's anything more I need to tell you at this point. That looked good with the TJIs. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. And we'll just have to see what their next step is. And my guess, like I said, is I think the air conditioning ductwork's going to go in first, and they'll have to figure out where the registers fit in wherever they go down on the ground, and how they're going to get over there, and then they'll have to put blocks in. We'll show you that another time, you know, obviously when they get to it. Now see, here they oh, okay, they ordered these. Oh, that's cool. They ordered these already pre-cut. They didn't have to cut those. See all those? And those are their blocks in between. Those were probably 14. Oh, I don't know how long those are, but they're designed to fit in there. These are probably 16-inch center, so it's probably 14 and a half or something like that. And this is probably some sort of template for something. See, they've made a little template for something. And so anyways, they're going right along, aren't they? They're going right along, and they're leaving their materials here. They trust people around here. I don't know. I'm somebody who wouldn't really trust leaving material out, especially hangers and stuff like that, nails. And I think they might even have a compressor sitting over here, because they've been running a compressor to run their saws and all that kind of stuff. See, I think this is the only extra piece of TJI they got left. You know, there's just a couple scraps here and there, and that's about it. And they got one big old huge 6 by 10 beam, it looks like, left. So they're doing good on their waist so far, pretty much, other than a couple of these big pieces. And that's why when you measure your material, try to measure them as close as you can. Okay, so I'm gonna get that all cleaned now, I think, and get ready with my toothbrush, slide it through there back and forth, have a bucket here, and kind of clean that out and all that kind of stuff, and look and see where we go next. Stick around, because hey, the more you watch, the more you learn. That's just how it works.